Welcome to the Athlete Institute in Mono, Ontario. OSBA action. Your hometown undefeated Orangeville Prep Bears now 5-0 in OSBA action. Taking on Rise Prep in the black jerseys with white trim to the left of your screen. Rise Prep comes in 3-1. Led by Cole Scott. You'll see him number 4 out there with the pink sneakers. And he's got the hair pulled up, longer hair with braids on. This guy's one of my favorite players in the OSBA. Scott with the ball, start things off. So on the floor for Orangeville starting 5, Shamar Rattan-Mays guarding Cole Scott right now. Cole looking for space. You got Coleman Stuka making his return. Matthew Alexander Moncrief, Kyler Philwich, and of course Lorenzo Downey out there. Shot clock winding down. Stewart in the corner. Misses. And Orangeville with the ball. So Rory Stewart, one of the starters, mentioned Cole Scott. Jonam Kazadi's out there. Trent Johnson. And who am I missing? Mason Krause is the last one. And the follow, Kyler Philwich, first basket of the game. I'm Chris McKee, doing the play-by-play. Thanks for joining us here on the Athlete Institute live stream. Great to be back in the gym. It's been a couple weeks for me. Happy to be back up here. So Rise, a much younger team, they don't have one senior on the floor, not one 2020 player. Shot clock winding down, had to put it up, air ball. Shamar pushes it for Stuka. Outside, Downey for 3. Lorenzo, Downey if you need him. Hot start. 5-0 Bears. Wide open look. That's Krause for 3, why not? Short, Stewart with the rebounds. Krause back to Cole Scott. Cole's been messing around with it a little bit, winding the shot clock down. And there's Trent Johnson, big 3, first points of the game for Rise Prep. So Rise, one of the premier programs in the country, but lost a couple big players to the NCAA. Shamar, no foul called. I got Ramir Moore, one of my favorite players over the past few years, down at St. Joe's. And that ball stolen. And I'm giving Miguel Tomley as well down at Santa Clara. Moncrief with his first basket of the game. So you lose a couple of guys to the NCAA. You're going to take a hit. Krause has got to recognize. Trent Johnson had a wide open look. And no basket. He stepped on the line. Unlucky. That looks like Jonam Kazadi. Jonah from Winnipeg, couple players from Manitoba on Rise Prep. And then also Kyler Philwich out there. So Manitoba taking over in the OSBA. 3 Manitoba players on the floor. Downey attacks the basket, and he slips. Looks like he was fouled by Mason Krause prior. No shooting foul. The Bears will inbound under the hoop. So I'm happy to be back in the gym. Last week I was doing the play-by-play for the college soccer national championships out in Oshawa at Durham College. Who won? It was a great experience, but I was out in the cold for like 6 hours a day, calling 2 soccer games a day back to back. And it was fun, but a little chilly. Shamar parts the Red Sea. Lovely finish. Happy to be back in the sweaty gym instead. Krause may have gotten away with the travel. Kazadi, Johnson. Kazadi attacks. No good. Shamar races up the floor and has his pocket picked by Cole Scott. Shamar arguing, and I'm with him on this one. Scott clearly knocked that out of bounds. Or else Shamar would still have possession of it. Alas, is what it is. Rise ball. So conversation amongst the refs here. This may be the other one saying, you know what? We missed that call. Not sure what the conversation is on the floor. But hey, so be it. Cole Scott. Oh, almost. Johnson, nice feed inside to Rory Stewart. And it looked lovely, everything but the finish. Downey has already hit a big three. See if Moncrief can get into the action. He does. Matthew Alexander Moncrief, swish. Long outlet pass. Cole. Good ball movement by Rise Johnson in the corner. That's his second three of the game, Trent Johnson. I was having a chat with AI coach Patrick Falduti before the game, and we were chatting a little bit about some of the guys on Rise. He says, this guy 31, when he walks in the gym, he doesn't look like much of a player, but this guy can ball, and two big threes right off the bat. And a lovely finish. I thought he might have been fouled hard, but Trent Johnson showing out in the first quarter. He's already got 8. Moncrief. And not sure what the call is. Looks like it's going to be a foul. I think it's Kazadi that's getting called with the foul against him. And Moncrief will shoot some free throws, it looks like. Matthew. Looks like he got a little bit of a knock there. No foul. Guess the foul was called before. Moncrief tried to muscle his way in. I don't think Matthew needed a bounce on that one. We'd love to see him just catch that and put the ball right up. Kazadi looking for help. Scott slips. That floor is really slippy. Shot clock winding down. Johnson recognizes. And again, ugly. That's twice he's had to do that. Let the shot clock expire and just throw up an ugly shot. Stuka, Coleman Stuka, welcome to the game. So Stuka has been sidelined with injuries for weeks. This is my first look at him this season. Just committed to Northeastern University. Congratulations to Coleman. Man, Coleman had quite a few offers. And if it's the right fit, it's the right fit. Love seeing that. And I'm thinking he's made that decision early. I was really surprised to hear how early. Some guys want to, kind of want to keep, let me see if I can get a bigger school or something. It's like, no, this is right for me. So it is what it is. Congratulations. 4:36 to go in the first quarter. Kyler Filwich on the free throw line. Kyler, another one of the Manitoba players on the floor. He's a class of 2020 out of Vincent Massey High School. I know his parents are always listening on the live stream, so shout out to Mom and Dad. Sent me a nice message after my game up here, what was it, a week or two ago? So Noah Achuti on the floor for the first time, number 5 for Rise. Two Achuti brothers. Eden, the other one. Johnson misses on that attempt. Matthew. Downey for 3. Lorenzo Downey heating up. Second 3 of the game. Lorenzo, it's not the prettiest of shooting motions. It's a very low release, but he's had 2 threes already, and neither shot has touched a lick of the rim. Nothing but net. Achuti short on his attempt. Kyler Filwich, rebound. Moncrief lost a handle on it. Back out to Rattan Mays for 3, short. Trent Johnson. Up to Scott. Ooh, Lorenzo Downey on defense now. Not in my house. Orangeville's first substitution of the game. Justice Prentice comes in place of Rattan Mays. Moncrief out to Stuka. High arcing three. So Coleman's got a real sweet stroke. Jose Lorenzo's not as pretty, but his two have gone in. Stewart in the corner. Air ball. Moncrief pushes it up to Philwich. And the big man using that frame gets himself to the line. So Kyler mentioned out of Manitoba was the #1 player in the province 2 years in a row and decided he needed a bigger challenge and packed up and moved up here to Orangeville. He's got a bunch of offers already and talked about, trying to see what other opportunities are available to him. That's why he's come here to Orangeville. Speaking of that, what a cool week this week. Last night, turned on the Raptors game in Portland, and I see O'Shea Brissett sitting on the bench for the Raptors, getting the call up. So great to see O'Shea. It's like he's going to get some time with the big club this year. He's got a two-way deal, I believe. And then the night before, Tuesday, get off work and look up at the TV on ESPN, and there's Addison Patterson playing his freshman season for Oregon. Addison here, of course, 2 years ago. And BioSteel All-Canadian as well. So it's a real trip seeing some of the guys that you see right in front of you right now. We'll be watching them on TV within the next 12 to 24 months. I can guarantee Matthew Alexander Moncrief you'll be seeing on TV next year. So Matthew had his first visit down to Seton Hall this past weekend. Said he had a good time. Just chatted him really briefly with him before the game. Said he enjoyed his trip down there. Obviously connecting with former teammate Tyrese Samuel, who was down at the Hall this year. Seton Hall, and there's a turnover by Rise. Seton Hall, last poll I saw, they're ranked #9 in the country. A top 10 program. Justice Prentice. 2:10 to go in the first quarter. Stuka slashes through everyone. Can't get the finish. Getting our first look at Dyson Frank and Alex Nawaga as well on the floor. Alex with the white headband on. And Dyson with the blonde hair. Very glam rock-esque. Downey. Stuka. High arcing jump shot. Lovely. Coleman Stuka. His stroke is just a real thing of beauty. What a shot. Johnson in the corner. Down to Stewart. So with Rise, you wonder, what kind of a bench do they have? Speaking of the bench, Tyreek Clark out there for the first time, number 13. Trent Johnson keeps hitting shots. With being such a young team, that's where you wonder, do they have the depth? 3-1 so far in the season. Dyson Frank misses his first attempt. Cole Scott, one of the fastest players you'll see in the OSBA, in the country for that matter. Reminds me a little bit of Daniel Sackey, who, what was Daniel Thornley? A couple years ago, now playing down at Valparaiso. Here's the substitutions for Rise now. Seeing Luke DeGans, number 8. Number 22, Luke Grace. And also number 1, Niall London. Gonna get a look at that bench right now. Rise trails by 10. Nawaga can't get it to go. And Clark gets a rebound. London is out of Markham, Ontario. Now played with Bill Carruthers before joining Rise Prep. Well, 19.9 to go in the first quarter. Orangeville looks comfortable. A lot of guys getting into the act. Downey's hit a couple big threes. Stuka as well, a couple nice shots. Prentice yet to get off the mark. Justice misses. Downey cleans it up though. Shot clock winding down. And it looks like, was there a foul before? No. They're just going to go to the quarter with that. I thought maybe Stuka was fouled. It wasn't, just missed the shot. Is what it is. And at the end of the first quarter, Orangeville Prep with a 10-point lead, 20-10. Thanks for joining us here on the Athlete Institute live stream. Don't forget to click subscribe, the big red button at the bottom of your screen. That way you can stay notified whenever the live stream is going to be coming active. I subscribe so that way the odd time I'm not here and sitting at work, I'll often tune in and see what's going on. I had a bit of a watch of the Orangeville game Tuesday against Ridley. Well, Ridley, of course, lost some big-time players to the NCAA. Jaden Bediako won down at Santa Clara, the 6'11" forward who's been a part of the Canadian national team program. Jaden, he's such a nice young man. I've had the chance to chat with him a few times. And bright. Santa Clara is becoming Team Canada South. A couple Canadians headed down there now. I mentioned Miguel Tomley also headed there. Of course, the home of Steve Nash. I remember watching Steve Nash in the NCAA tournament in the 1990s with Santa Clara. That was my first time ever hearing of them. Some Drake and Rick Ross bumping in the back. I think Drake got booed on stage this week. I mean, who was it? Tyler, the Creator show or something? They brought him out. Everyone thought it was going to be Frank Ocean, and then Drake came out. Can you imagine being disappointed Drake walks on stage? The blasphemy of it all. So good first quarter for both teams. Most of the Rise Prep offense coming courtesy of Trent Johnson. He's the guard forward, 6'6", class of 2021 out of Cambridge. Hit a couple big threes. And then Orangeville spread around a little bit, but Lorenzo Downey and Coleman Stuka, a couple big baskets each. And now we're going to get our first look at Darius Diavero playing the point. Darius out of Ottawa knows all these guys real well. Darius was down at TRC Academy, the brother school of Rise Prep. The Wog underneath, can't finish though. So Rise and TRC in the same building, and older players are obviously very familiar with each other, just the same as Orangeville and Athlete Institute. Two teams, one roof. And that was a Chudy, missed in the corner. So if Rise is going to hang around in this game, they're going to have to hit shots. Darius Diavero, speaking of hitting shots, big three on his first attempt of the game. No break. I mean, with Shamar and Darius, you're talking 1 and 1A. Both guys elite point guards, floor generals. And in chatting with Jeremy Pope, one of the assistants last week, said legitimately the two smartest guys in the conference are 2 point guards. Darius, a coach's son. Father, the head coach at McGill. Stuka for 3. It's a thing of beauty. Coleman Stuka, another 3. Dyson Frank on the floor. Talk about him in a bit. I know he was down having a visit as well. This week, Achuti switches to his left hand, and then he's fouled. And he'll shoot some free throws. So Noah and his brother Eden out of Hamilton, Ontario. Rise substitute. It's Liam Craven. We're seeing for the first time. Craven from Ancaster, Ontario. He's got the leg brace on his left knee. Chudy, class of 2022, another one of the young guys. It's a really young team, so a bright future for these guys on Rise. Trail by 15 right now, 8:25 to go in the half. Prentice to Stuka, outside to Frank. Ooh, in and out, unlucky for Dyson. I did the Orangeville Crestwood game 2-3 weeks ago. Dyson Frank was key in that game on both ends of the floor. Chudy, ice cold since he's come on. Prentice had space for a shot, then gets his pocket picked. DeGans, and clever play by both players, really. I mean, good foul by Stuka to shut that down as Rise had 3-on-1. But then even DeGan, you know, he could smell the much bigger and stronger Stuka sniffing behind him. You know, I think if he took it to the hoop, he would have had that blocked, and so initiated the contact, drew the foul. But still not a shooting foul. Corner three, lovely. That's Luke Grace. Rise hanging around. Prentice to Nawaga. Nawaga and Coleman Stuka, teammates for the past few years down at King's Christian, and then they both transferred here to Orangeville. Speaking of King's Christian, I'm really excited. Lucas Sakota, one of the King's Christian grads from last year, now playing down at Harvard. So this Saturday, down at Scotiabank Arena, or ACC, whatever you want to call it, as Rise just tosses that away. Tariq Clark with a wayward pass. But yeah, down at the Scotiabank Place, there's 3 NCAA games happening right here in Toronto, which I'm super stoked about. I got myself media credentials to go down cover it. So it's going to be Harvard with multiple Canadians on it against Buffalo from just down the road. St. Bonaventure's, who's also just down the road, against Rutgers. And then Washington versus Tennessee. Oh my goodness, Alex Nawaga. Big dunk. I should wake up Orangeville. Oh, and then Nawaga down the other end. He just stole the soul. I was Tariq Clark. Tariq Clark just got canceled by Alex Nawaga. Wow. Wow. What a series of play for Alex. Big dunk, and then down the other end, huge block. So Alex starting to pick up some offers on his own. I know James Madison, and now he comes up with the loose ball. And I expect plenty more for Alex. Freakishly athletic, really strong kid. And just seeing getting it done on both ends. Prentice misses on his attempt. Scott. What a finish, Cole Scott. Cole, I mean, only 6 foot, but this dude is built like a tank. Really stout. He was just standing out in the court before the game. Shamar with a 3. Ooh, lovely. Shamar Rattan-Mays with the response. It's backbreaking for Rise, and every big shot they make, Orangeville down the other end does something more spectacular. Listen, yeah, Cole, his calves look like a fire hydrant. He's really built like a running back in football. I'm sure there's quite a few programs that wouldn't mind having him as the running back. His speed and athleticism. 5:32 to go in the half. Orangeville up 31-16. I'm Chris McKee. Thanks for joining us. And careless pass. Alley-oop! Ooh. Moncrief didn't make a meal out of it. Simple. Counts for 2. Rise Prep needs to settle down. 33-16. Orangeville. So if you want, drop me a line on Twitter at Mr. McKee, MCKEE. I always post some video and audio highlights of the game and try to get at least one player from each team after the game and do an interview. I want to get a couple tonight from Orangeville, actually. Hoping to chat with Coleman about his decision to go to Northeast, as well as Dyson. Dyson from Philadelphia up here playing in Canada. That always blows my mind, so I'm going to chat with him a little bit about that decision and hopefully catch one of the Rise guys as well. And my guy Cole Scott, I'm a Pickering native. Cole's a Pickering guy, so I always show love to my guys. I'm born and raised in Scarborough, but I've lived in Pickering for the past 20 years. So Scarborough or Pickering dudes players get to love me. That's why Shamar, I always give Shamar love. He's a Scarborough dude. Cole, a Pickering guy. Not too many Pickering guys in the league. Michael McIntosh, former Oregon player. When he was playing down in the CEBL, I called those games this summer. He's a Pickering guy. Orangeville now pressing, and Cole Scott just tosses that away, smacks himself in the head like, what am I doing? Oh, what a first step by Diavero. Moncrief for three, why not? M.A. short. And Trent Johnson comes up with it. Scott inside to Grace, and then Grace way too casual with it. Kyler Philwich just ripped it out of his hand. Kyler, and just uses that, absolutely just flattened Luke Grace. Kyler Philwich, my goodness. Oh man. You just heard the thud. Kyler's not a guy you want backing you down in the paint. It's going to end up like it just did for Grace. Moncrief out to Darius for three. Darius Diavero. Scott. Cole just nowhere to move against these towering Orangeville players, and there's an air ball. So Cole Scott not having his best game. Darius for three. Can he go back to back? No. And that went up. Alex Nawaga got lucky there. He was the last one to touch it. And Orangeville wants timeout. Settle things down. 38-16. Orangeville cruising. Big three after another. And it's coming from all ends. I mean, you got Darius hitting threes. Kyler backing you down. Moncrief's hitting some. Stuka's hitting threes. It's just tough to defend. So I'm excited. I'm launching a new website over the next week or two. Undraftedfreeagent.com. There's nothing on there right now, but I'm just bought the domain and stuff this week. And so a lot of people know I wrote my first book, Life on the Road with the Wu-Tang Clan. It's available on Amazon. So when I went into that, I mean, I'd had a bunch of articles. I was writing for SB Nation, a bunch of other sites for basketball. And then when I got into the book, it was just like you're writing 6, 7, 8 hours a day. And once that was done, I want to step away from writing for a little bit. You just I'm written out. But I'm getting the urge again, and I don't really want to write for anyone else's site again, unless I'm going to write for CBS Sports or Fox Sports or something, but that's not happening just yet. So I'm going to create my own site, my own content. So definitely feature some OSBA content. Moncrief's blocked by Trent Johnson. My goodness. Wow. You don't see that happen too often. And then Moncrief involved with stealing it right back. You know what? I would have liked to have seen that play got whistle dead. You had an extra guy on the Coleman Stuka's on the court, one of the little boys with his basketball, but Coleman ran out the floor So for a second there, Orangeville had 6 guys on the floor and 2 balls. Two basketballs, to be clear. Shamar outside. Short baseline jumper doesn't go for Darius. Nawaga off the glass. My goodness. So it's been one of those nights for Alex. He's getting that kind of luck. Just toss it up high off the glass, and it goes in. Sometimes it's just your day. And off the top of the rim, that was Tyreek Clark, missed on that attempt. Tyreek from Ajax. Went to Pickering High School, know it well. My daughter went to Pickering High School for a bit. Also, Neil Young, the famed Canadian rock and roll singer, went to Pickering High School. Diavero from the corner, Darius for 3. Orangeville putting their foot on the throats of Rise Prep. And Darius with a great bump. He could play libero in volleyball, from what I just saw right there. I also do professional volleyball commentating. That's how I know. I've seen a good form. One Volleyball is called. You can check them out online, Instagram. It's professional volleyball. So they have games in Toronto and then Calgary, obviously Eastern and Western, and then whoever wins either faces each other. Looks like Moncrief stood on the foot of Cole Scott accidentally. .155 to go. Rise, simple basket here. Need a safe shot. You got to settle things down, because the wheels are falling off in the first half. Love seeing the Raptors late night this week, because I work till 10 or 10:15 doing my radio. I do traffic for News Talk 1010 and TSN 1050. And then I get off at 10:15. I always watch the West Coast games. So with the Raptors on the West Coast swing this week, it's been great for me. Shamar tap dancing and ridiculous. And that was probably going in. Moncrief, third time's a charm, finally gets it to go. I think Matthew could have been called with offensive goaltending. I think he stole the ball was rolling in for Shamar. Stolen. Filowich, get your phones out. He goes for the lay-in, easy. I was hoping he'd rip the rim off. Kyler Filowich. Orangeville Prep laying a beating on Rise, 47-16. 31-point lead, and we're still in the first half. So if you're Rise, Trent Johnson was hitting shots in the first quarter, and then they've gotten away from Trent a little. He's been feeling it a bit, so maybe try to work a shot. Let him get a basket, get an opportunity anyways. Yeah, I'm sitting on so much content just from doing BioSteel weekend, and also, just some of the relationships I've built, just as far as writing. It's even just the players that have walked through these doors, knowing about them. We talked about Addison Patterson down at Oregon, Keyshawn Barthélemy now down at Colorado, and 100 other dudes. And also a lot of the BioSteel players I've got to know pretty well and follow them on their journey. And all that obviously happens up here, all the training and practices and stuff like that anyways. And then the last couple of years I've done the main game down at the University of Toronto. Love that facility. The Gold Ring Center, right across the street from Varsity Stadium. St. George and Bloor area of Toronto. DeGans. We got Eden Achuti for the first time today. Shamar steals that, and he's going to go coast to coast. Shamar Rattan Mays. Stop it. My goodness. You know, I was watching the warm-up, and Shamar made a big dunk like that got everyone off their feet. And it made me think of a couple weeks ago I was up here. He missed that same dunk, and then this time, Shamar, oh my goodness. Wow. That's the highlight of the night right now. You know, Shamar goes 5'11", maybe 6 foot, and just threw that down. You saw his explosiveness, ridiculous. Jalik Dunkley distant. The young guy getting his first go. Missed his first shot attempt. Ball bouncing everywhere. It was going to be Orangeville ball, 4.4 seconds to go. So Jalik, you see him out there, number 0 in the yellow sneakers. Jalik, he's a true grade 9. He's a class of 2024. Which I remember the first time when they handed me the roster a couple weeks ago, I was like, that's got to be a mistake, 2024. And this kid can play. Chatted with a bunch of the coaches here, and they're all in, no, well, wait till you see this guy. But hey, wait till you see Shamar. Wow, Shamar throwing it down. I mean, you know, adding that part to his game is really the last step. That's crazy. I mean, you know, he can shoot from range. He's as good a ball distributor as you'll find in the country. Plays smarter than anyone on the floor. And now, you know, attacking the basket, throwing it down. He's got all the bag of tricks. Oh, rainbow shots, floaters. But throwing it down like that, that's ridiculous. Well, Shamar, of course, the younger brother of Xavier Rattan-Mays. I called some of Xavier's games this summer. He was playing for the Hamilton Honey Badgers. Played in the NBA last year, a couple games. And of course, Florida State star. And so Shamar sprinted ahead, didn't realize Moncrief had dropped the ball. 2 seconds left, 1, put it up, and he can't get it up. As Rory Stewart blocks that one. But at the half, Orangeville Prep 49, Rise Prep 18. Let's hope in the second half Rise does rise up, come out with a little bit more energy, start hitting some shots, and make this a little bit better of a game. I'm Chris McKee. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see if we can get a halftime interview. We'll see if Jeremy will come up and chat with us. Otherwise, I'll see you in about 10 minutes for the start of the second half. Welcome back. Start of the second half. OSBA action, Orangeville Prep Bears and Rise Prep. Orangeville with a 49-18 lead at the half. It was just coming from everywhere. You can't even point one particular guy because like every guy was getting it done. For Rise Prep, Trent Johnson, number 31, had a good start to the game. A couple big baskets and they got away from him. Other guys started taking shots. They were very reckless with the ball. Like, if you're going to play Orangeville, you got to play sound basketball. A couple just reckless giveaways throwing it out of bounds to Ghosts. I'm Chris McKee. Thanks for joining me here on the Athlete Institute live stream. It's what, my 4th year up here calling games in Orangeville. Matthew Alexander Moncrief inbounds to Shamar Rattan-Mays. Also Kyler Filowich out there, Coleman Stuka, and Lorenzo Downey. Shamar from the free throw line. Nice little basket. Shamar with that huge dunk in the first half. Rory Stewart from the corner, short on that attempt. Good ball movement from Rise. They're just not finishing. Moncrief skates through everyone, and he's fouled by Rory Stewart, and he'll go to the line. And Matthew from Brampton, class of 2020. Fielding offers from a number of big universities. Spoke to him a couple weeks ago after the game. I know we talked about that visit down at Seton Hall this week. I know he's going to Georgetown shortly. What was the other one? I think Michigan State, he was saying, I believe. Could be wrong, but I know they're in the mix. Saw them up at the gym here quite a bit last season. Oh, nice bounce pass. And a bit more like it. That's Jonam Kazadi with the finish for Rise. Cole Scott guarding Shamar. Shamar out to Stuka. Good ball movement. Shot clock winding down. Lorenzo's got to recognize he does, but it's an air ball. Rise ball. Cole Scott, and tipped away by Downey. Good hustle back by Lorenzo. .846 to go, 31-point lead, Orangeville. And that's a bit more like it from Rise. Mason Krause, big three from the corner. Stuka, stolen by Johnson. And Shamar blocks him from behind, but he's called with a foul. And he was clean with the ball, but I think he got a bit of the jersey yanking on him. But Trent, long, he's very rangy, 6'6" dude. He's got long arms on him. Played at St. Benedict's High School before going to Rise Prep. Played grassroots AAU, was part of the Waterloo Wolverines. I want to thank the people at Rise Prep because they're one of the only schools that actually has some information about their players on their website. Find out a little bit about them, which is good. And then I Google every single player on the court. Orangeville careless this time with the ball. So a little easier this week when I mentioned doing the soccer last week. Soccer teams, 25 different players each team, and it's all eight teams I'd never called games for before. So you got to research. 8 times 25, do the math. Johnson. Ooh! Trent Johnson. How you like me now? This guy can play. Little flex from Johnson after that dunk. But wow. He is deceptive. When you walk in the gym, he's not the first guy that you look at and say, well, who's that guy? But this guy's a legit player. I think Trent's got to work on a little bit of flash, maybe. Throwing a tattoo or something, you know. A sleeve tattoo, something. I think his game speaks for itself. Good to see. Rise looking a little livelier. Started the second half. You know, their head coach, Mario Celebre, obviously laid into him. Here's Johnson again. Misses. But Kazadi picks up the loose ball. Scott kicks out. Kraus, Mason Kraus. Back-to-back threes for Mason. Finally, Rise hitting some shots. The looks were there for them in the first half. They just weren't hitting their opportunities. Good ball movement. Coleman Stuka takes that one to the basket. Nice finish. Kraus again, heat check. Wow, Mason Kraus, 3 threes in a row. He's on fire. And now Tony McIntyre wants a timeout. Lead trimming away, and you know he's gonna say, hey, let's get a body on this Kraus guy. 3 threes in a row. Dude can shoot. To Rise's credit, they've come out firing. Start of the second half, look a little bit more settled, playing with a little bit more confidence. I've talked about it a dozen times, calling games up here. There is a wow factor for quite a few of the other programs. I wouldn't say Rise, because, I mean, they've got a facility comparable to this. Really nice place down at TRC, down in Brantford. But some of them, you know, oh, wow, we got to go up to Orangeville. You know, it's just, you can see that there is an intimidation factor walking in this building. I think maybe Rise guilty of that tonight, the young guys. But they look a bit more settled in the second half. 54-33, 6:33 to go. Orangeville will inbound. A couple substitutions. Alex Nawaga on the floor, as well as Dyson Frank for Orangeville back out there. Shamar. Left-handed bat. No, can't get it to go. Nawaga with the putback. Alex is having a night. Well, now it looks like Johnson's getting double teamed. He's sitting there wide open. Rory Stewart. And the finish for Rory. Rise chipping away at it. Lead down to 21. Was 31. Good little run for Rise. Stuka. No go. Frank with the rebounds. Diavero. Baseline jumper. Dyson Frank short. And turnover. Johnson racing for it. And Stuka over and back called against Orangeville, but good hustle by Coleman. But a turnover for Orangeville. Mason Kraus, 3 threes to start the second half. Keep feeding number 2. Cole Scott yet to get going. He's been quiet tonight. Kraus again. Oh, finally misses. He hesitated on that shot. Would love to see him just put up that first time. Maybe a different result. Floater inside! Alex Nawaga. It's his show tonight. The alley-oop from Shamar Ratan Mays. 58-35. Cole Scott kicks it ahead. Man, didn't see the call. I was looking at Shamar with the ball down the floor. There's something behind the play. So I found a better route to get up here, thank goodness, because I used to take, coming in from Pickering, 401 westbound to the 410 to Highway 10 to 9, and in rush hour, just sitting on that 410, it's torture. Shamar and Nawaga with the putback. So now I'm doing 404 north to Davis Drive and then come across Highway 9. Nice and peaceful, quiet drive, enjoying that. It's also saving me a ton of time, too. Cole Scott short. Darius up the floor. Scott Stuka in the corner. Coleman Stuka, nothing but net. I don't think that even touched the mesh. Stuka, I think that might be his third or fourth three tonight. I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have a producer in my ear telling me what's going on. Off the cuff, as they say. So I don't have updated stats. I try to make notes as I go, but tough to keep track of everyone's points. Johnson can't finish, and Nawaga with the rebound. Well, shout out to Lugens Dort, saying he had 35 points in the G League this week. Another Athlete Institute alum. Stuka for three, high arcing. My goodness, it's ridiculous. Literally raining threes from Coleman Stuka. 66-35. That ball almost hit the roof. Like, you can't defend that. If you're 7 foot, he's still shooting it over you. So Coleman Stuka showing why he's an NCAA player. Back-to-back threes for Coleman. And he's having a night. Coleman Stuka and Nawaga, the two Kings Christian transfers, lighting it up for Orangeville tonight. Mentioned the first half. Lucas Sakota from Kings in town this weekend. 3 NCAA games at Scotiabank Arena. Hopefully see some of you guys down there. Make sure you say hello if you are down there. I'll be running around with cameras and getting some interviews and some footage. Excited about that. I guess I should do some game prep before I go down there and figure out who's who. Well, I know all the Canadians on Harvard. Just got to make myself a bit more familiar with Tennessee and Washington. Krause. Luke Gray slipped under the basket. It's been really slippy, the floor tonight. Johnson, and Johnson just slipped in the exact same spot that Luke Gray slipped. And yeah, you can see that was a real danger spot. Now, part of the problem is, obviously the snow's on the ground. It's really slushy, and so everyone's shoes walking into the building, and you can just pick up little spots of water. I actually was down there mopping a little bit because I seen it was just water from everyone's dirty boots down around the gym. And I was like, I don't want to see anyone get hurt. But hard to get all of them. That's unfortunate. See 2 players in black both slipped on that same spot. Everyone looks okay. Nawaga went down. Looked like he was holding his groin. But appears no worse for wear. Should be fine. Tony McIntyre says, good job, Coleman, mopping. I learned my mopping trade. I started working at McDonald's when I was 12. My mother faked my birth certificate. to say that I was 13 so I could get a job, and I was a lobby boy at McDonald's when I was 12. And then I was burnt out by the time I hit 30. I'd been working for way too long. I actually had the chance to work for McDonald's head office many years later. Worked there on a 1-year contract, helping produce some special events for them. One of my most enjoyable duties is wherever Ronald McDonald went, I set up everything for him. So I was essentially Ronald McDonald's agent. So I spoke to Ronald McDonald on the phone on a daily basis for a year straight. And Nawaga goes down again hard. This time he's on his left side. And Tyreek Clark also holding the back of his head on Rise. The two of them went down pretty hard. That's two big dudes. And Alex, it looks like he'll have a bruise. I don't think it's any significant injury. Maybe just a little bruised. And looks like Kyler Philwich steps in for Alex. I tell the story often. When I started working at McDonald's, they handed me this manual that was, I would say, easily 400 pages. Dyson Frank in the corner, swish. Dyson Frank getting his first big basket of the game. He's had a quiet night tonight. I haven't needed him, really. Yeah, they handed me a manual, 400 pages thick, of what Ronald McDonald will and won't do. Cole Scott off the glass. Scott showing signs of life. But I was amazed, 400 pages of what Ronald does and doesn't do. Crazy. One of the things, and these are secrets I'm not supposed to be telling, but Coleman Stuka in the corner. Again, he cannot miss. It's raining threes from Stuka. Well, that's at least 5 or 6 already from Coleman tonight. Krause. Grace. In and out. Yeah, Ronald is not allowed to be in any place for longer than 20 minutes because lingering is a bad look. And Coleman Stuka with a good look right there. It's just destroying Rise. Nice push ahead, Clark. And Scott misses an easy lay-in. It's been that kind of night for Cole. Darius, nobody on him. Shamar. He's got Stuka. He can't miss, so keep shooting. He finally does. That was the heat check for Coleman. And Cole Scott, Rise has got numbers, the alley-oop, and they even messed that up. That's, if you want to capsulize Rise Prep's night in one play, that was it right there. Tough night. They had 3-on-1, and they were going for highlight reel dunks instead of getting 2 points. That's the young guys, that lack of experience on Rise. Speaking of experience, Shamar Rattan-Mays. Looks like Shamar slipped before he was about to jump. It's that messy floor. Stuka steals that. Shamar resets. Coming to the end of the third quarter, 3 seconds left. Dyson Frank puts it up way off. And at the end of 3, Orangeville Prep comfortably in front, 74-37, courtesy of Coleman Stuka, who literally, I mean, I've seen him miss once in the second half. The guy cannot miss tonight. Crazy. Alex Nawaga. A couple big plays as well. So I'm Chris McKee. Thanks for joining me here on the Athlete Institute live stream. Bit of a runaway game. Orangeville comfortably in front, but hopefully in the fourth quarter, get to see some of the young guys, Jalik Dunkley Disson a bit more. Mentioned Jalik, a grade 9 with Orangeville. Not sure what college games are on tonight. Hoping to catch something later. I was NFL. It's Thursday night, so NFL. Thinking of what I'm going to watch when I get home. Catch the end of the Thursday night game. So back for the start of the fourth quarter. Mason Krause, one of the lone bright spots. Him and Trent Johnson have had a good afternoon or good evening for Rise, but that's about it. So if you're Rise here, hey, whatever you've been doing hasn't been working, so try something different. Put up, and that ain't gonna do it. Luke Grace just tosses that away. Alley-oop! Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Alexander Moncrief. 76-37. Krause again, heat check. This dude can shoot. Mason Krause. It's his 4-3 of the second half. DeVero got a little bit of a James Harden-esque 6 or 7 steps there, got away with it, but couldn't finish. Shamar pushes the ball up the floor, and he's fouled. Looks like Krause. It was Krause and Chudy, the two of them collapsed on Shamar. Excuse me, Niall London, and it is on Krause. And now Achuti comes in for London. Rory Stewart back on the floor. 36-point lead. Make it 37. So Shamar fielding a bunch of offers. I chatted with him last week after the game at Crestwood, getting plenty of interest in the NCAA. So looking forward to watching him play on TV next year. And that's Shamar's the guy, 4-year guy. He's going to be there. And you got to think, he's one of those guys, I think, by junior, senior year, nice land, is definitely going to be a candidate. Whatever conference he goes to, I promise you, he'll be one of the candidates for Player of the Year by his junior season. Nice feed inside. One extra pass. Stewart gets the second attempt. A 44-point lead. 36-point lead. Get my math wrong. Been a long day. Shamar. Filowich can't hit the three. Listen, Kyler also pretty good football player in his own right as well. No surprise just looking at him. DeVero. Shamar, no good. Moncrief steals and hammers that away. Casual dunk for Matthew. Long three, nice response from Craven. That's it. If I'm in black tonight, if I'm wearing that jersey, the second I get that ball, I'm just putting it up. Let's go. We got 35 points to make up. It ain't going to happen if you don't shoot. Tipped out of bounds by Shamar. It'll be Rise ball still. Substitution. One former Kings Christian player for another. Alex Nawaga checks in for Stuka. I first saw Coleman, 3 years ago in this gym. Well, sorry, 2 seasons ago in this gym. And was really impressed with him. Stepped out of bounds. Looks like a Chudy. It's Noah. His brother Eden wears number 0. And it's great to see Coleman's development over the past couple seasons. And no surprise, he's become the player he is right now. Sky's the limit for this guy. I think at some point you'll see him in the future as part of the Canadian men's national team program. Kyler Filowich. Kind of a dunk. It rolled in. Achuti. Left hand. Lovely. Noah Achuti. Diavero. Short jumper. No good. Rebound Kraus. Long outlet ahead to Craven. Good hustle. Moncrief not recognize him. Let him snuck in the back door. Sneak in the back door, excuse me. Matthew, a couple big dunks tonight, but relatively quiet. Hasn't really been needed. Filowich with the putback. She's using that big frame. Get out of my way. I'm getting my own rebound. Achuti in the corner for Stewart. Kraus. Achuti for 3. No good. Shamar's got Filowich ahead. Nice bounce pass. Extra pass. And too much from Nawaga. Stolen by Diavero. Darius, coast to coast. Lovely. Darius Diavero. 86-51. Orangeville dominating. This one never in doubt from the get-go. So don't forget to follow Athlete Institute and Orangeville Prep on Instagram and Twitter. Stay up to date on all things happening. I like to because see what's going on when they go down to the U.S. Since I seen the guys down in Bermuda last week, must be nice. I was having some FOMO looking at that, or fear of missing out. I'm like, these guys are down in Bermuda. I'm sitting in a snowstorm in Toronto, so cool to see. And obviously, over Christmas, they'll be down all throughout the U.S. Number of games coming up. Also, a good way to keep up to date on all the AI and Orangeville alumni now in the NBA and the NCAA. Of course, Jamal Murray, Thon Maker, Ignas Brazdeikis, Lugens Dort, O'Shea Brissett, Kyle Alexander. There's too many. I was having to skim through some of the names on the wall, and a guy like James Karnick a couple years ago, now playing down at Lehigh. Aaron Ray is now down at Dartmouth. Stolen, Dunkley distant, Moncrief with the finish. So I want to see some highlights out of the young guy, Jalik Dunkley distant. We're also seeing Josiah Evely for the first time tonight for Rise, number 25. Josiah from Toronto, played at Richview Collegiate before. So part of the Nike Bounce AAU program. And you didn't just call that. Sometimes you look for a little bit of relief from the refs. That's pretty savage. He's calling a time violation. 5 seconds. Darius looks comfortable. Little floater from the free throw line. And what a play, clever. We talked about two of the smartest players in the league. There's Darius there. makes the shot, misses the shot, excuse me, but then goes in, gets his own rebound, is falling out of bounds, throws it off one of the Rise guys. So now Orangeville maintains possession. And it results in an easy basket for Kyler Filowich. Smart basketball. Take you somewhere. And Orangeville not letting up, they're pressing, suffocating, eating a chooty, and there's the turnover. Timeout Rise. Coming down to the end of the game here. Orangeville, another comfortable victory. They blew out Ridley here 2 nights ago, and same result here again on Thursday. I think I'm back up here on another week or two. My schedule is all over the place. I know what I'm doing this weekend. That's it. I'll be doing my traffic on the radio, 6 a.m. till noon Saturday morning. I know that. Check me out on Jewel 88.5 and News Talk 1010. And I'm doing 2 Niagara stations. I don't even know what they are. They're brand new. I just started doing them last week on the weekends. And then mentioned Saturday down at the basketball. Sunday back on the radio again, doing traffic and weather for News Talk 1010. And with this snow, you guys are keeping me in business on the radio. Everyone just crashing into each other all over the highways. Ridiculous. Slow down out there in the snow. I don't want to be reporting about you during my reports on the news. Johnson. Rory Stewart, nice pump fake. Rory from London, England. He's been a part of the Team Ontario U15 and U17 program. Previously played at St. Michael's in Toronto. Of course, the program Leo Routens made famous back in the day, St. Mike's Legends. And of course, his son Sam, another Athlete Institute alumni, now playing down at Canisius in the NCAA. Long three again, Mason Krause. That's what, number 5 or 6, I think, in the second half alone. So he's at least padding his mixtape. And prove this guy can shoot from anywhere in the gym. Dunkley distant. You won't find a better name in basketball than that. Johnson again. Dude's a shooter. Trent Johnson. Looks like they're trying to work something to get Jalik involved. Nawaga. Dunkley distant for 3. Looks good. In and out. Cole Scott. Krause heat check. Finally misses. Diavero. Great no-look pass. And Kyler can't finish, though. Kyler's had a nice night. Johnson way too cash with that. Alley-oop. And Nawaga. It wasn't a highlight reel worthy, but it still counts for 2. So Orangeville also going to the bench. We're going to see Mustafa Vanjoff coming in for the first time today. Mustafa from Tajikistan. Number 5 on. 6'9", class of 2021. Big dude. Come a long way. Tajikistan, the Middle East, I think it's right next to Afghanistan. Blocked by Vanjoff. Impact already. You know what's funny? give me a country in the world, and I'm not really that sure where it is, but name me a college in the United States. I'll tell you what city and state it's in. I know that Texas Tech University is in Lubbock, Texas. And I know that Wofford University is in Spartanburg, South Carolina. There we go. I think, anyways. Minute 36 to go. Thanks for joining us. Fun day. I'll be honest, happy just the one game today. Normally I do back-to-backs. I usually do the 6 o'clock game and then the 8 o'clock game. I know when I'm back up in a couple weeks we'll do that, but a little gas today. The one game suits me just well. Scott, Richie Cole, part of the BioSteel Futures game last year, took place right here. I did the play-by-play for that the last 2 years. A lot of fun. Also the dunk competition, the three-point competition they have here. Johnson did well just to keep a handle on that. And Nawaga tracks back but can't pick that one off. And Jonam Kazadi. Jonam, a two-time Manitoba High School All-Star. That's St. Paul's High School. It's been a part of the Manitoba U17 program. Diavero, long jump shot. Beautiful. Darius with a long two. Kraus. And lovely follow from Trent Johnson. Orangeville is trying to run this one out. They got to get a hundo. So someone's got to take a shot. Darius leaves it for Nawaga, and he slipped, got away with the travel. Pushed ahead to a Chudy, and something going on with the shot clock. And that's got to be goaltending at least by Dyson because he hammered the backboard to alter the shot. Referees, you know, it's a 30-something point game. There's 8 seconds left, and they're having a conference call to decide what's going on. Make the call, lads. Let's go. Even the kids on Rise are like, can we end this? I got homework to do. Scott will inbound. One last shot attempt. Someone can pad some stats here for Rise. A Chudy, why not, for three. Short on that attempt. And that'll do it. Orangeville Prep, they don't get to 100, but they get to 99. Easy win over Rise Prep. But Orangeville now improves to 6-0 in OSBA action. Obviously the #1 team. Well, thanks for joining us here at the Athlete Institute in Mono. I'm Chris McKee. Don't forget, check me out on Twitter at Mr. McKee. I'll be posting some highlights and try to get some interviews after the game. See you next week.